Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Two Bros, One Pod. Today, we will finally be bringing up football. As you can see from our jerseys, big Giants fans, little old school jerseys. But today's episode is going to be on the NFC. Okay, we're going to talk about the NFC. We're going to talk about 5 trades that we think alter the NFC. And then we're going to finish off with the interesting one, way too early power ranking from teams 16 to 1, because again, only NFC, 16 teams. So our worst place NFC team and our best place NFC team. Things could get interesting. We could have similar opinions. We could get different opinions. There's only one way to find out. Shall we get started?
Let's do it.
Get it going, baby. Jay, how are you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing good, man. I'm excited. How you doing?
I'm doing excellent. I'm also very excited. I think this is going to be a fun one. Let's just get straight into it, okay? There was a lot, and I mean a lot of trades that happened this offseason, right? There's still a couple moves that could be made, but
yeah,
it felt like it was day after day. It was one crazy move after another. So again, we're going to keep it just to the NFC. It could be players that left the NFC and how they impact their team that they left, or players that come into the NFC and impact the team that they got there.
Okay.
Right. So do you want to start us off, or should I start us off?
I can start it off. I really didn't want to put this team as number 5, but I feel like I had to because, again, just thinking of trades, NFC trades.
Yeah.
There wasn't really many trades on the NFC side. Okay. Most of them, a lot of the big ones have been on the AFC side.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to have to put the Seahawks as number 5.
Okay.
Why? Because obviously Russell leaves, right? That's a huge hole that you have to fill. But in return, you get a small upgrade in tight end.
Yeah.
Okay. This guy is going to go in there and he's going to be the starter. However, your quarterback is going to be the reason why you're not going to completely excel in that position there. Now, with that being said, you picked up probably the starting quarterback in Drew Lock. Now, it's a toss up between him and Geno. You can't really tell.
I think Drew Lock takes it though.
Yeah, I think so too. So I think that little combination between him and Alfont would be at least a little bit of chemistry that would get them going. It'll make them feel a little bit more comfortable. Okay. And they picked up Harris, right? A defensive lineman, which I think it's a good pickup. Out of those 3, I think that was the best one, right? Out of those 3. But still, it's a big hole to fill with Russell leaving. So I got them as number 5. At number 4, I hate to say it, I have Carson Wentz.
Oh, God.
To the Washington Commanders.
Oh, God.
I think that's actually a really good pickup for the Commanders, okay? Obviously, they improved, I think, in quarterback play. Carson Wentz already has some experience playing, obviously, in the Eagles, right?
Yeah.
Playing in Indianapolis, being a leader over there pretty much. So he's definitely going to come here to the Commanders and he has to. There's no other option. He has to be the leader for the Washington Commanders.
Yeah, he has no choice.
Yeah, he has no choice. So, again, you have Carson Wentz in the division that he's in. I think it matches pretty well with what Washington is trying to do. So that's why he's at number 4 for me. At number 3, I have Shaq Mason to the Buccaneers.
Good move, yeah.
I think that's a great move. Okay, he is going to be that automatic starter, obviously.
Yeah.
At the guard position for Tom Brady. I think that's gonna give Tom Brady a nice little relaxation. He's gonna be able to be like, okay, I got somebody that he has my back right there, no matter what. He's like a top 10 guard, if I'm not mistaken. Like he was voted or ranked
easily
top 10.
Easily.
Yeah. So I think that I got them as number 3. I think that was a really good pickup. And number 1 and number 2 are really interesting, really good. And I'm actually excited about this for both for one of these teams, not for the other one.
Okay, so I can assume I know what the other one is.
For number 2, I have Hollywood Brown to the Cardinals.
Okay.
Okay. You got Nuke Hopkins, who he won't be playing there the first 6 games of the season.
Yeah. People
And
forgetting
so,
that.
yeah, and so Hollywood is gonna go out there and he's gonna be the immediate number 1 wide receiver. Okay, you got obviously a great quarterback. I'm gonna say he improves in quarterback because Lamar, his main focus is running the ball.
Running the ball, yeah.
Okay. But now you got in Kyler a guy that can do both. Okay. He can extend the play to throw the ball, or if he has nothing else to throw to, he can run it.
Yeah.
But I think Marquise Brown is a perfect like 1-2 punch at the wide receiver position for the Cardinals.
I agree.
And at number 1,
I know what it is. I know what it is.
Hate to say it.
It's a great move.
AJ Brown to the Eagles. All right. I think that is a fantastic move, a great move, a perfect move for the Eagles. Okay. They've won a win and they want to win now. They want to compete against the Cowboys. They want to win that division. Okay. And these guys, again, Hurts, I don't think he's bad. I don't think he's a bad quarterback. I mean, he's great in fantasy.
Yeah.
But I really don't think he's that bad. I just think he hasn't had a good wide receiver to throw to. And they were able to get him that. Like, I mean, the undisputed number 1 wide. Like,
what about Devontae Smith?
Devontae Smith will be the number 2, but he's not where you could say, okay, I have a wide receiver that I know if I throw it up, he's gonna catch it, and I could close my eyes and I know he's gonna. Devontae Smith is not that. I feel like AJ Brown is that guy. AJ Brown will be the number 1 to divide. It's pretty much like what the Cardinals did. No, Nuke Hopkins is gonna be the number 1, and Marquise Brown is gonna be an amazing complementary as their number 2. Same thing here with the Eagles. AJ Brown will be their number 1, and number 2 will be Devontae Smith. So
interesting.
Yeah, I think that's why I have them as number 1. I think they did great. Eagles. It sucks. I'm not gonna lie. It sucks that I have them as number 1. But hey, man, I gotta give credit where credit's due. And these guys did an amazing trade picking up AJ Brown. They really did.
Yeah, it was a fantastic move.
Yeah.
It's interesting to me that you only have players coming into the NFC. I like that. I have 3 leaving, and I'll explain why. Number 5 actually starts off with one of them that actually left, because I think it alters the way that team looks.
Okay.
It's Amari Cooper leaving the Cowboys. Why I have that at number 5 is fairly simple to me. I know CeeDee Lamb took over in the Cowboys' eyes. I know CeeDee Lamb is seen as the guy.
Right.
And with all reason, like CeeDee Lamb's a stud. But I think that was a little bit disrespectful to Amari Cooper. Like, the kid has been a stud everywhere he goes. Like, Amari Cooper has been great every year as long as you give him the ball.
Right.
Last season was an off season, a down year, but that's because they weren't really feeding him. He had to complain in the media for them to be like, all right, let's throw him.
No, and he was getting injured as well.
Right.
Not much, but he had a couple games he had to miss.
Yeah, but I mean, hey, same could be said about CeeDee Lamb.
Right. Yeah.
I mean? So,
yeah, you're right.
Michael Gallup, it's not Amari Cooper. Like, he's not gonna replace him. He's not gonna put up the numbers Amari Cooper did when Amari Cooper was healthy. Like, he's a good player, but to me, he is a wide receiver 3. But I know they also re-signed Dalton Schultz, and that's a great pickup. I think he's gonna be a great tight end for them. But
he got franchised, I think.
Was it?
Mistaken. I think so.
It might have been. But that's what I'm saying. Like, to me, Amari Cooper, I know they were both wanting to leave. Like, they wanted to cut him and he wanted to be traded. I get that. But that all comes from in his eyes, disrespect that he received. So I think that's a very altering move because of what you said. And I'll dig more into that. The Eagles have made such great moves that the Cowboys, to me, have gone from like the best team in the NFC East to like, you got to watch over your shoulder, kid, because now the Eagles are coming. The Giants, I wish I could say the same. The Commanders, they've gone better. Do I think either of those 2 teams compete for the other 2 teams? No, I think the Giants and Commanders end up 3rd and 4th, 4th and 3rd, respectively, whatever. But now the Cowboys don't have it as easy as they do. So that's why, to me, Amari Cooper is number 5. Number 4, I'm going to kind of go with you. Obviously, different ranking, but number 4 to me, Hollywood Brown going to the Cardinals.
Really?
Yeah, I think that's a really good move as well. Obviously, what you said, Nuke now being out for 6 games, Marquise Brown number 1. But I'm thinking both on the field, both are healthy 100%, right? That's scary, especially in the division. They're in probably the most competitive division, if not in the NFC in the entire league.
Yep.
Having Kyler Murray look around and see DeAndre Hopkins, Zach Ertz, Marquise Brown, that's a great trio.
Yep.
Right. So I think Marquise Brown helps the Cardinals I wouldn't say elevate another level. I'm not gonna say that they're now officially Super Bowl contenders because Marquise Brown, to me, he has the potential, but he hasn't proved anything yet. To me, Marquise
Right.
Brown is still like an okay wide receiver. I know he has the potential to be a great wide receiver, but he's okay for now.
Right.
Could it be? This is one of those receivers that I think is going to show. Was it really the system in Baltimore that didn't let you flourish, or is it you that you're just overrated? We'll see. Number 3 is one that I kind of went back and forth between 3 and 2. Like I was like, which one should go where, right? But at the end of the day, I think number 3 is Russ leaving the Hawks. I had him originally number 2, but I'll explain why I switched it, right? So I got the Hawks losing Russ at number 3 because the biggest impact it has is the Hawks officially are rebuilding. Like this is a team that for the past decade or so, maybe even more, has been contenders. They've been really good, a really good team. Russ has taken them far. He's won a Super Bowl with them, lost another one, which we won't talk about.
Bro, real quick. Like you said, they're rebuilding. With them leaving, having traded, well, not traded away, but Bobby Wagner leaving and Russ leaving, that leaves nobody from the Super Bowl winning team, except obviously the coach. But still, that's it. They don't have a single player.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like this
10 years ago.
This is an official rebuild. Like you're saying, you know what, we're gonna start from the ground up. Like DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Chris Carson when healthy, studs. It's just Drew Lock. Like I said, I like Drew Lock. I think he's a decent quarterback.
Do you think he'll start?
I think he starts, but do I think he's a franchise quarterback that they're like, yo, this is my next quarterback for the next 10 years? No, absolutely not. They're either gonna trade for one. I'll tell you this. I know they won't do it because they're rivals, but I would love to see them trade for Jimmy G. Like, I don't like Jimmy G, period. I don't think Jimmy G is a star quarterback either, but he's one of those quarterbacks that knows how to manage the game. So if they could, I know they won't again because they're literally bitter rivals. But if they could get Jimmy G, bro, the Seahawks, suddenly I'm like, oh, maybe they're not that bad. But that's not gonna happen most likely. So I think it impacts the Seahawks in that level. Like, I just think as an organization, you're just saying, you know what, we're starting over. We're not gonna compete in this division. Russ won it out. We figured it might be the best move. So I think it changes the whole culture of the team. I think
I agree.
Now we're talking about, like I said, a team that for 10 years plus was like a contender to like now it's like, all right, well, they're just another team.
Yep.
You know, so I think that alters them a lot. But number 2, it's AJ Brown. It's AJ Brown to the Eagles. I got that at number 2.
You got him at number 2?
I got him at number 2, and I'll explain. I chose
Who's your number 1.
You'll find out soon enough. I chose him over Russ because I think since we're talking only NFC, right? I think Russ affects the Hawks a little less than the AJ Brown affects the Eagles. Sorry.
Yeah.
Because yes, they are rebuilding and it affects them in the sense that like you're not officially contenders, right?
Right.
I think Russ is the winner there. We'll talk about that in a later episode. Why I put AJ Brown over them is because on the flip side, now the Hawks are rebuilding and they're not contenders. I think the Eagles just boosted up.
Yep.
Like, yes, a lot of people might say, oh, that's no reaction. Listen, to me, that was a phenomenal move by the Eagles. I hate to say it, but it's true. And like I said, to me, AJ Brown just boosts the Eagles into, in my opinion, the best team in the NFC East. I agree with you. I think Hurts is a pretty decent quarterback. Fantasy, he's one of the best. Real life, he's okay. Like, he could potentially be good, maybe great, but right now I'd say he's okay. To me, he lacks accuracy. He tries to do too many big plays. Like, just keep it simple.
Right.
You know, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, and Dallas Goedert are going to help him do that.
Yeah.
So to me, they got him. I got him number 2.
Okay.
Number 1, Devontae Adams.
Oh,
Devontae Adams leaving the Packers to me is the biggest move. Why? We'll talk about the Devontae Adams side, obviously, in the AFC story, but for the NFC is, all right, who's Aaron Rodgers going to throw the ball to? The best players are what? Alan Lazard and the tight end Tanyan. Like, I'm sorry, I know he's great, but come on. You can't do that.
Oh.
To me, it changes my dynamic from the Packers being one of the best teams in the NFC. Then I'm like, yo, they're probably going to reach, if not the championship game, at least a divisional game, like for sure. Mm-hmm. And they're going to be the number 1 seed or the 2 seed. To like, they're probably going to win a division, but they're probably going to end up as the 4 seed. They might not get those 13 wins they usually do.
Right.
Because like I said, I know Aaron Rodgers is great, but at this point in his career, he can't really run as much. He still does, I know, but like he can't do it to win the games. He has to throw the ball. And I don't know. Devontae Adams is such a big player for them that not trying to replace him is massive for me. Like when I see
Yeah.
what they got for Devontae Adams, beautiful. And then when I see what the Eagles gave up for AJ Brown, I'm like, why didn't you guys do that? Like you could easily given up what the Eagles gave up.
Yeah.
The Eagles just didn't. The Packers didn't. So to me, the Packers by far, Devontae Adams leaving is like the number one most altering trade in the NFC. That's my opinion.
Nice.
I don't know. I don't know how they replace him. I don't think they do, and I'm interested to see where they go now without him. So
It's gonna be interesting.
it's gonna be something. Let me tell you, it's gonna be weird. Also, not seeing him there.
I know.
I'm not gonna lie. And having him in fantasy is kind of like, what do I do now? But that's something we could talk about a little bit later as well.
Yeah.
But all right, let's get to the big section that we all been waiting for.
Yes.
Way too early predictions, right? Well, not really predictions, our rankings.
Yeah.
Again, only NFC. We're not talking AFC teams at all. So you might hear our number one be like, "What? How's that the best team in the NFL?" It's the best team in the NFC, in our opinion. Or same thing with the worst team. What? How is that team worse than whatever? NFC. So I want you to kick us off. We're gonna go for this one. For this one, let's go a little different. For this one, I want you to tell me your 16th. Then I'll give you my 16th.
Okay.
And then we'll go one by one, and we'll see where we match up, what we got.
All right, perfect.
And yeah, we'll take it from there. So,
perfect.
Without further ado, let me hear that number 16 for you, my boy.
All right. So, my number 16, I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. The Bears.
Same here.
Like, these guys are not doing much to help out Justin Fields and have him get better. This guy, he's a young stud, and he needs key pieces around him in order to excel, right? In order to get the Bears to contend in that division.
Yeah.
He does not have that.
Agreed.
So I think that was an obvious pick. And that's why I have them as 16.
I have them at 16 as well. Kind of the same reasons you're saying.
Yeah.
And kind of like to go back to what I said before with the Packers. I'm not saying they would have been better than the Packers, but the Packers losing Devontae Adams, I would have seen it as an opportunity to, like, you know what? Hey, maybe, just maybe, there's an opportunity there to maybe try to pass the Packers up. Let me try to rebuild the team in the right way. Let me try to get deep. But they haven't done none of that. Like, they could go for OBJ. They could have gone for Jarvis Landry. They could have done so many things for cheap, and they're like, we'll just stay where we are. Justin Fields, good luck. That's basically, to me, that's what they're saying. Hey, just Fields, go out there, do the best you can. If you get hurt, you get hurt. And I don't like that. I think that's the bad idea. Like, I know they're saying like they're thinking about the future and like how they're gonna look like a few years from now. Bro, a few years from now, Justin Fields might not even be here. So
yeah,
you're gonna have to restart all over, getting a new quarterback. So I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't like their roster. I don't like what they're doing. I got them at 16. Number 15 for me, I got the Panthers.
Oh, Sam.
Oh yeah. Hey, 2 for 2. I got the Panthers. Sam Darnold's not that guy. CMC when healthy is top 3 running backs.
Okay. Exactly. I was gonna get to that. But what about when he's but when he's not on the pitch?
He's not
on the field.
He's not on the field because he can't get protected. They're, first of all, they don't protect the like, their O-line is terrible. Number one. Number two, even if they had the best O-line, their play is like, all right, give it to McCaffrey. Whether we're throwing or passing, give it to McCaffrey. DJ Moore, stud. Robbie Anderson should have been a stud. And then he got, I don't know what happened between him and Sam Darnold. They couldn't get it together. Their defense is, they have some young studs. I like them. Brian Burns, JC Horn, Jeremy Chin. But nothing that I'm like, yo, this defense could do the job, especially in their division. So I got them at 15 for that reason.
Same. No, like everything you said. I think the key pieces there is the quarterback play and who do they have when CMC is not on the field.
Yep.
That's it. That, to me, again, defense, not the best. You got wide receivers. You're not really giving them the ball. Some games you do, some games you don't.
Exactly.
Again, quarterback is super inconsistent. And again, in a division where you have the Bucks, it's like, come on. So I think that was a no-brainer for me as well at number 15. Number 14, I got a team from that same division as well. I have the Atlanta Falcons at 14.
All right.
So Matt Ryan's left. He left. He's not there no more. Okay. So that leaves a big hole, a big captain. Okay. You got your quarterback that was there for how many years? Over a decade? How many years was he? over a decade, right?
Over a decade.
A guy who knew the system well, who was there in your lows, in your highs, everything. That guy left.
Yeah.
Gone. So now, who are you going to put in there to instantly make an impact on that team? Yeah, you got Pitts. Cool. He's an amazing player, an amazing playmaker. All right. Russell Gage just left your team. So now your wide receiver core just diminished.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, Julio Jones left last season. He's not there no more. So you got Calvin Ridley, who is suspended this season. And last season, he didn't really play at all.
Did he even play a game?
I think he played the first game, maybe
Could
one or two games. And then
Could
that's
be.
when he ended up leaving.
Yeah.
So you got a player who's suspended. You got nobody to throw to besides Pitts. And it's like, who's going to throw the ball to Pitts? You know what I mean? So their defense, I mean, yeah, they got Cordell. Amazing player, right? Explosive, but I just don't think those two players are going to be enough for what other teams have to offer, for what their division has to offer either. So I got them at 14.
Interesting. This is going to be the first time we mix it up. At 14, I battled the Falcons. I'll say this.
Okay.
I had them originally there, but I moved them because at 14, I got the Seahawks.
Ooh, okay.
I know the Seahawks have better name. They
Yeah.
have DK Metcalf. They have Tyler Lockett. They have Chris Carson. But at the end of the day, as good as they are, maybe Tyler Lockett could be the exception.
Yeah.
To me, they don't have a leader. Okay, you lost your leader in the quarterback, which is Russell Wilson, obviously, and well, in the whole team, but let's just say in the offense. And then you lost your defensive leader, Bobby Wagner. The last one left, right, from the Legion of Boom, that phenomenal defense that like was the scariest thing alive.
Yep.
You just lost him as well. So now you lose your offensive leader, your defensive leader, your two leaders, period, your two best players, and all you're left with now. Again, it's gonna sound bad, but because it's really good, but DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, as good as they are, kind of what you were saying about the Falcons. Drew Lock, good, serviceable quarterback. Not a stud. Not somebody that I'm like, yo, well, DK's definitely hitting 1,000. He probably will, just because it's DK. He'll make it happen. But if he doesn't hit 1,000 yards, I'm like, well, it doesn't shock me, right?
Right.
So to me, I got the Seahawks. I just feel like their rosters, again, going back to what I said in the draft and what I said in Russ leaving, how it impacts them, they're just rebuilding so much. I don't think they're worse than the Bears and the Panthers because of those players, but I just don't think they're good enough to be any higher than 14 for me, at least right now.
Okay. All right. That's interesting.
But at 13, I got the Falcons. So I got the Falcons because there is a name you're forgetting about. And I know he's a rookie and he hasn't shown anything, but Drake London.
Oh, that's right.
Drake London is good, man. I like his highlights.
Yeah, but again, who's gonna throw?
Marcus Mariota's not bad. Listen,
come on, man.
There's a reason why he went in the first round. Okay, I don't think. Look, I think he's.
How many years ago was this?
But look, I'll tell you this. I want you to be put in this scenario. You need to pick a quarterback for at least a year.
Okay.
Are you picking Marcus Mariota, or are you picking Drew Lock?
Honestly, I don't know. No, I promise you, I'm stuck between the two.
Because here's the thing for me. I'm picking Marcus Mariota for two reasons. One, yes, he has been a flop for sure compared to what everybody thought he would be, right?
Right.
But he can use his legs more than Drew Lock. He has more experience than Drew Lock. Number two, they drafted Desmond Ridder as well.
Okay.
So that kid is going to be their quarterback. They just want him to sit back behind Mariota. I think throughout the season, he takes over. I don't think it's one of those like, well, he's going to sit for a year and then next year. I think he comes in throughout the year. Mariota is okay. He's not a franchise quarterback. He is not somebody that I'm like, well, this is the guy to get them out the hole. This is a quarterback that's okay. Simple as that. And
yeah,
he could hold it down for a few games. And then I think Ridder comes in. And when you think about Ridder with Patterson, with London, with Pitts, that's not a bad attacking trio, right? What I see the Falcons have over the Seahawks is, although they do have the Bucs in their division, they have an easier division. The Seahawks got to play the Rams, the Cardinals, and the Niners. The Seahawks are ending last in that division. If they don't, I'll be shocked. Yeah, I have a very good friend of mine that's a Seahawks fan. I'll give him $100. I'll be like, yo, congrats. I don't care. But they're ending last. I'm sorry. Right? Yeah. I just think the Falcons have a little bit more than the Seahawks down. Don't get me wrong. It's not like Falcons, Seahawks. I'm saying like Falcons, Seahawks, like right here.
Yeah.
They're like right here.
Yeah.
I give the Falcons like a tiny little bit of an edge, but I do have them at 13 over the Seahawks at 14.
Okay. Now, my number 13, the New York Giants.
Okay.
Yes, they had a good draft, in my opinion. They had a good draft, but the main reason why I have them at 13 is because of Daniel Jones.
I agree.
I'm sorry. If we could get Baker.
Wait, I'm sorry, but have you noticed?
Teddy?
Have you noticed from 15 to 13, our talk has been the quarterback? 16 is the only place where we're like the quarterback's fine, Justin Fields.
Pretty much, yeah.
But it's the whole team, right? So think about it. If Justin Fields goes to any of these teams, they probably go a little higher. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
But go ahead. Sorry.
No, I agree. Yeah, so at 13, I have the Giants. Again, Daniel Jones. I feel like if we would trade or sign, if we would sign Baker or even what's the other one? Or Jimmy G, I think the Giants, I would put them up maybe 5 spots. I don't know. But I think right now they are so low because of Daniel Jones. I still think, we don't know how Saquon's going to come out, if healthy, how that O-line is going to be, if he's going to be able to be that explosive player that he was his rookie year.
Yeah.
He might not ever be that good again. Okay. There's a good possibility that might not happen.
Yeah.
But with Daniel Jones being our quarterback, there's no way we're gonna win any. Again, look at what the Eagles did. Amari Cooper left, but I still think the Cowboys are way more explosive. They're more daring to go up the field than the Giants. For sure. And then you got the Commanders that they seem to have like, all right, tell me the truth. Who would you pick? Daniel Jones or Carson Wentz?
Carson Wentz.
Come on now. Like, I think that's easy. That's an obvious pick.
Now, don't get me wrong. That's only if I had those 2 options. If I had more options, Carson Wentz ain't getting picked. But if it's between those 2, Carson Wentz.
Of course. So, I sadly I have them at 13. It sucks, I know, but I gotta be realistic. Okay. At 12, you might not agree with this, but at 12, I do have the New Orleans Saints.
Ooh, okay.
Okay. Why? Number one, in my opinion, I think their quarterback play is going to be very bad. All right. Jameis is going to be their starter.
Yeah.
Jameis is going to be their starter. Jameis has shown over the years that, let's say he could have 2. He always starts off hot, always.
Yeah.
But then somehow falls off a cliff and just doesn't stop. He just keeps going. Okay. This man's going to start off hot 2, maybe 3 games. Cool. Right. But this man's going to be as inconsistent as possible, as he usually is. Okay. Right. He's going to be throwing interceptions. He's not going to be able to move the ball. Yeah, you got Kamara. Yeah, you have Michael Thomas on one side. Yeah, you have Olave on the other. Cool. Their defense is not the worst, but I feel like they're going to be losing a lot of games, and their defense is going to be put in a position where kind of what Jameis Winston did when he was in Tampa Bay. Their defense was good, but they didn't win games. Why? Because Jameis Winston was always turning the ball over and just putting the defense in a bad position. Always. That's what I think is going to happen with the Saints. And that's why I have them at 12.
Okay, well, that's interesting. So you had 13 Giants and you had 12 the Saints. Yeah. To me, my 12 is the Giants.
All right. We're not that far off.
Hey, look, we're moving a little bit. We got the Bears the same, 16. We got Panthers 15 the same. Yeah. 14 switched up. Yeah. 13 switched up. 12 switched up. But
like by 1.
Yeah, it's like in and out. So at 12, I got the Giants. I agree. I think it's Daniel Jones. Now, don't get me wrong. I've like the whole time I was thinking like, who would I pick over, right? Marcus Mariota, Daniel Jones. It's a tough one. To me, honestly, it's a tough one. But I probably would. At that point, I probably would give the edge to Daniel Jones. Not by much. Like, not by much at all. I think our defense improved. But I will say this. We have let go of a few players. We let go of Logan Ryan. Yeah. Who to me was a great leader. Jabril Peppers, who to me is one of the best safeties that there is, especially for our system. It fit perfectly, and we let him go. And we also let go of James Bradbury. I understand his contract was an issue, but like we let him go. We didn't trade him. Like I know we had a hard time finding a trade partner. He signed a few days later with the Eagles. Okay, we could have gotten something. We could have gotten at least like a future fifth, fourth round pick, something. But we're like, nah, just cut the losses. So we've taken L's on defense as much as we've improved as well with Kevon Thibodeau, all that. Blake Martinez hopefully coming back from his injury. Offensively, our O-line has gotten better. You know, we drafted Evan Neal, we got Andrew Thomas on the other side. We picked up Glowinski from the Colts and a couple other players, but the end day is still Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones is the quarterback is the most important position in the NFL, and Daniel Jones is not our best player. That tells you everything you need to know. So to me, they're 12. They are a little bit better than the Falcons and the Seahawks. I think so. But just again, not by much. It's not like Falcons Giants. It's Falcons Giants, like right here.
Yeah.
But at 11, I got a team that I think hopefully might move up even more as the season goes on. But for now, they'll be 11 for me. That's the Lions.
Ooh.
I really like the Lions. I love what they did. But again, I sound like a broken record. I sound like I'm just saying the same things, but it's true. Jared Goff is not that guy. He's not that guy. If they would have traded even Carson Wentz, who I don't like much, Matt Ryan, Baker, Jimmy G, I would have been like, you know what, get me the Lions higher. But because it's Jared Goff, I just can't have them higher than 11. I would love to because I love the Lions. I really, really do. I love their energy. I love how they fight for everything. And I love it. Like literally the game could be 70-7. They're like, well, we're going to keep going. I love it. Right. I love St. Brown. I love Swift. I love Hawkinson. I love the coach. Like there's so many, and the defense is pretty decent too. Okuda's coming back from that. I think it was a torn Achilles. I don't remember, but it was a big injury that he was out for the year. Penny Sewell is probably going to get even better in his second year.
Yeah.
Aiden Hutchinson, I'm excited to see at home. Jameson Williams. Oh, it's so many great things. But then you say Jared Goff, and you're just like, oh, well, that kind of ruins the mood, doesn't it?
Right.
So, like I said, hopefully, eventually down the line throughout the season, they go a little higher. But for now, I got them at 11. I can't get them higher than that.
All right, that's fair. So my 11 is the Seattle Seahawks.
Damn, so pretty high. Okay.
Yeah, I got them a little high. Why? Just because of the playmakers that they have.
Right.
Okay. And by playmakers, I mean mainly the wide receivers that they have. And they did improve a bit in the tight end position.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. So they have Metcalf, a monster. They have Lockett. He could be you could rely on him. You could rely on him.
Sure hands.
Yeah. And then you got Noah Fant and tight end. If you can't go deep, you could go short with him. Right. And then you got two running backs that they could be injury prone, but when healthy, they could be a menace. The thing is, though, the quarterback play, right? The quarterback play. Whether it's Geno, whether it's Drew Luck, you still have something that is going to be consistent in the coach. The coach is going to go out there, and even though the players, they're going through this whole rebuild, you're still going to have a coach that is going to tell you how he wants the game to be played, the style that he wants you to play, and the playmakers are going to have to step up.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's why I have them at 11. And at 10, I have the Lions.
Okay.
So just one off the other.
I ain't mad.
So in my top 10, Lions are in there. Okay. Again, last year, the Lions lost a lot of games by one possession. A lot. Maybe 4 or 5 games. Okay. Yeah. Like they have a good team.
Yeah.
They really do. And again, when you combine it with what they did in the draft, it's like a puzzle. Okay. All the pieces are like fitting in perfect. Okay. So that's why I have them at 10, above the Seahawks, above the Saints. And obviously we already named those last 4. Well, my last 4: Bears, Panthers, Falcons, and Giants. I think the Lions will be better than all of them.
Hey, listen, that's fair. I got them at 11, so we're not that far off.
Yeah. But, and honestly, I would love to see the Lions, come out and play good. I would love to go out there and get some wins. That'll be great. Because I honestly, ever since I can remember watching football, Lions have never really been. I mean, yeah, Stafford was there and won Megatron, but how many times did they really make it to the playoffs? Even though they were there
in my lifetime, like maybe like a handful of times.
Yeah. So,
but to me, my number 10, I kind of fought it again. I kind of was fighting with 11 because I wanted to put the Lions there, but I gave number 10 to the Vikings. I gave them the edge over the Lions. Yeah, I gave them the edge over the Lions.
Wow, I think that's low. The Vikings at 10.
I'll tell you why.
Wow.
I think the Vikings have one of the best young wide receivers, obviously, Justin Jefferson.
Right.
But Adam Thielen last season proved like he's probably coming to his end.
Okay.
He was way too hurt, way too often. Dalvin Cook, as good as he is, very injury prone. Like damn near every year he gets hurt, at least one game.
Yeah.
And Kirk Cousins, he's shown he could be a very good quarterback in this league, like serviceable quarterback. But I just like I'm not. It's not like that quarterback that I'm like, yep, with him we're gonna win. That's it. That's my guy. So like, as good as Justin Jefferson is, I just don't see them being anything other than Justin Jefferson, Dalvin Cook, and a healthy, very rarely but healthy Adam Thielen.
Okay.
Their defensive side of the ball, they're getting old. You know, they still got Patrick Peterson, who at one point was one of the best corners. Now he's just old and slow. Harrison Smith, who could still hit really hard, but again, old. You know, I feel like their defense needs like a little bit more juice right now.
Okay.
They haven't really done that. They've been so focused on like, well, these are our veterans. We're going to keep them and let's get, rightfully so, Justin Jefferson involved. Like, great. But when you look at that team, they're getting old in other key places. Like Justin Jefferson and Dalvin Cook are probably the two studs, let's say, that are young. And then that Kirk Cousins is getting old. Although quarterbacks can, as Tom Brady shows, can last forever. Adam Thielen is getting old. Harrison Smith, Patrick Peterson. So I feel like they're good, but just not good enough. You know,
Okay.
I see 9 teams that are better than them, in my opinion. One of them being number 9, the Washington Commanders.
Same.
I got them at 9 because I like Tyler Heineke a lot. I do.
Okay.
But he's not an NFL franchise quarterback. Like he's a good backup that could win you some games when needed. Carson Wentz is not a stud, but he's definitely an upgrade. Then you got Terry McLaurin. You got Antonio Gibson. You got that ridiculous defense. Chase Young, Jonathan Allen, all these great studs. I just think the Commanders, first of all, they got an easy division. Let's be fair.
Yep.
It's gonna be hard to win the division, but I wouldn't be shocked, if they get second place or maybe they get a wild card berth, maybe the last place, whatever. But I could see them doing that. I just think they're a more equipped team than any of the teams I mentioned before, like all around. I think their defense is better than all of them. I think their offensive weapons are, if not similar, better than them as well. But they have, for now, from the quarterback that I've talked about for now, the best quarterback for now.
Yeah.
So that's why I got them at 9. That's for me.
Okay. Well, I agree with you. I have the Washington Commanders at 9 as well. And again, you pretty much said everything that I was going to say. You know, just they also added another wide receiver in Dotson.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
He is nice. He's going to be a really good complementary opposing Terry McLaurin. So I think Carson Wentz has some good weapons to throw to. He has a good solid running backs in McKissick and, like you said, Gibson. So there's really nothing else to say. Again, the division is not that great. Well, for them, I don't see them winning or even being second. So I think that's, I'll just leave that at that. So I have them at 9. Now at number 8. Now here for me, from 9 to 8, there's a huge gap, huge difference.
Okay.
So from 8, the top 8 teams, I was kind of switching them a bit, like, okay, this one might be 7 or this one could be 6, like that. Okay. So at number 8, even though they did great trades, though they did a good solid draft, Philadelphia Eagles at number 8.
That's our very first big difference. I'll tell you that.
At number 8, the Philadelphia Eagles. Okay. I think they will be contending with the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to go ahead and just give it to the Eagles and say, hey, look, you guys are going to win the division. I don't think it's going to be that easy, with the Cowboys. And you know how the Giants could be stingy and the Commanders could be stingy. They may not, they could lose 1 or 2 of those games. But let's be real, they might not. They might not.
Yeah.
But I have them at 8 just because, again, and it's going back to the quarterback play. Can he do it? Okay. He has all the pieces around him. They have done everything to satisfy Hurts. Okay. Yep. Hurts has no excuse whatsoever.
Agreed.
He needs to go out there and perform and have W's with the Eagles.
It's a prove a year.
Exactly. They have to. Now, the only reason I have them at 8 is because I feel like the remaining 7 teams are just going to be better. I think they're more evenly on both the defense and the offense. And so as much as I would have wanted to have the Eagles higher, I had to leave them at 8.
Hey, listen, that's fair. I'll tell you this. That's our very first big difference. I will tell you that. For me, my number 8, I would say this actually might be our very first big difference because I don't remember where you had them specifically. I think it might have been 12. I got the Saints at 8.
Yeah, I have Saints at 12.
Yeah, you have them at 12. So that's a big gap.
Well, yeah.
I got them at 8 for this reason. I understand Jameis is inconsistent, but I feel like we're not giving him the credit he was due for last season. I know he didn't play a full season, but last season, like he was playing pretty decent last season until he got hurt, obviously, right? And now you add Olave, you bring back Michael Thomas. You also got to keep that in mind. Michael Thomas did not play last season. They didn't have Olave, obviously.
Right.
You bring them both together, right? There's one big move on the defensive side that I loved, and it was they signed Honey Badger.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
To me, that changes the mentality. Forget the player, because he's a phenomenal player. But his mindset, his experience, what he brings to that team, I think is going to boost an already incredible defense to higher levels. And he's going to have that leadership to help Jameis out of any slump he gets through. That's my number 8, right? My number 7, the Dallas Cowboys.
What?
Yep. I know. I'll tell you why. I still think Dak Prescott is probably the best quarterback in the NFC East. I still think he's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFC and the NFL, period.
Okay.
Zeke, not the same anymore, but still Zeke.
Mm-hmm.
CeeDee Lamb is only going to get better. Dawson Schultz proved that he has a lot of potential. The defense is good. Michael Parsons is a stud. The thing with me and Diggs is, yes, he has a lot of picks, but he also had the most yards against. Why? Because he's so aggressive.
Yeah.
I think teams are going to pick on him a little bit more last season because he's not really a shutdown corner. Like, he's a good corner, but he's not one of those that you're like, well, we can't throw on his side. They're going to throw on his side. Some balls will be picked, but a lot of balls will also go for touchdowns or big yardage. So I think he'll be picked on a little bit more last season. I mean,
he's really risky. He's risky. He's a risky corner.
Right. So that's why next season I think he's going to get picked on a little bit more. And now we'll see, okay, is he actually that good or was he just lucky with the picks? But
I mean, I think he's just going to get better, though. This is his 3rd season.
He could get better. I don't want to get too overconfident with him because it's his 3rd season. Last year could have been his breakout year and he could only keep going from here. But again, it's that, like, I understand that, like, well, yeah, he got the most picks because he gets the ball thrown at him so much, which is why he also gets the more yardage. But I remember a time where Stephon Gilmore led the league in interceptions and he led the league in least yards allowed. So, I don't know. I would love to see him. I like him a lot. I like the kid. Don't get me wrong. Even if he plays for Cowboys, but I just think that Amari Cooper. I'm not saying he's like the best wide receiver in the league, but he's such a big hole. I know Michael Gallup is good, but he's such a big hole that I don't think the Cowboys have the pieces to contend in the NFC anymore. Like, not a true contender. Yes, I think they will fight with the Eagles for the NFC East, and one of them will make playoffs. Maybe both of them make playoffs, whatever. But is it a team that I'm like, well, they're Super Bowl contenders? No, not in my eyes. So to me, that's why I got them at 7.
Okay, well, that's a big difference. I got the Cowboys much higher.
Okay.
So, yeah. But my number 7 is the San Francisco 49ers.
What? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We're getting big, baby. We're getting big differences. Here we go.
My number 7 is the 49ers. Why? Because, again, I feel like I'm starting to sound repetitive, but that quarterback play, Jimmy G hasn't signed. Okay.
He's going to leave.
I mean, there's a possibility. Honestly, I don't know if he leaves. But if he does, I don't see Trey Lance being ready. Okay. I feel like last year they were still 100% playing to the style that Jimmy G has. They didn't really try to incorporate or implement any type of stuff. Well, yeah, he came in sometimes, right? But it wasn't much of a difference. But you also got that Deebo Samuel situation going on. So I feel like the locker room is not going to be as, I guess, running as smoothly as it should be, as it's been doing in the past. Yeah, you got Kittle. He's nice. You got nice defense, right? But I just feel like the quarterback play is going to be the main factor in this team. Okay. And you look at their division. You got the Rams. You got the Cardinals. Okay, who we already spoke about. And you got the Seahawks. I think they lose both games against the Rams. Okay. I think they lose both games against the Cardinals.
Okay.
The Seahawks is the only team that I see them beating.
Of course.
But I don't see them being first or second in this division at all.
Okay.
So again, it's a tough division.
Yeah.
I don't know how their schedule's looking. We haven't really looked at anybody's schedule. But again, I think is going to be a big factor how they're going to proceed with their quarterback play. And yes, Trey Lance has been, sitting on the bench, trying to be mentored by Jimmy G, but I feel like Jimmy G hasn't really done that job because his mind is just somewhere else.
Yeah.
Right. So I have them at 7. Again, I think the remaining 6 teams will be better than this 49ers.
All right. That's interesting.
Now, my number 6, the Minnesota Vikings.
Okay.
I got Vikings as number 6 just because I feel like their team is really, really good. Like really good. Yeah, you got Dalvin Cook, like you were mentioning before. He could be injured, but you got Madison that every time he comes in, it's like Cook never left. It's like this is literally Cook 2.0. Has the same hair, everything, runs the same style. This guy is like the perfect combination when Dalvin Cook goes down. Okay. Yeah, you got Adam Thielen. He's getting a little older, but I feel like he is like, at least this season, he'll be more consistent.
Okay.
All right. And then you got the stud, Justin Jefferson. All right. This guy is a monster. Okay. You got Irv Smith Jr., who I think is going to be stepping up. Also, whenever Adam Thielen doesn't step up, or whenever Justin Jefferson is double teamed.
I was big on him last year, so I agree.
I know you were. But I think this is going to be the year for him. And you got Kirk Cousins, who I think he's just tired of constantly being not seeing the best team in his division. You got, again, like we said, you got the Lions, who improved a lot. You got the Packers, who just lost Devontae Adams. I think the and you got the Bears, who, again, they're just not going to be any contention. Yeah. So I feel like the Vikings are sitting down and they're like, man, we have the opportunity to win this division. Right. We have the opportunity to make a noise, to go up big this season and bringing down Aaron Rodgers, because he does not have that big weapon that he had these past years.
Right.
So I feel like they're going to go out there extra motivated. They have all the pieces. They have the wide receivers. They have the running backs. Okay. And I think they're going to go out there and they're going to make big plays and they're going to win big games. So that's why I have them at 6.
Listen, that's interesting.
Above the 49ers.
All right. I mean, hey, listen. My number 6 is the Cardinals.
Okay.
I wanted to put them higher, but I just can't because Kyler Murray has shown me he's very inconsistent. And this whole drama of like, I don't want to go. I don't want to stay. I want a new contract. I don't want a new contract. Like, I don't know. I don't like that. I think it's very childish. Like, just play the game, bro. If you want a contract, get a contract. If you want to get traded, ask for a trade. Like, stop with the back and forth. He deleted all his social media posts, removed the Cardinals from his bio. Like, shut up. Just play the game. And I don't like that. And I just feel like that's going to cause a lot of tension in the locker room. Yes, they got Marquise Brown, but they lost to me their actual leader, Chandler Jones. And I don't know. I like them a lot. But again, just because of their division, the Rams, the Niners, I'm not going to mention the Seahawks because we both agree the Seahawks are probably going to lose all the division games.
Yeah. I
just think they have a really tough path. Can they do it? Absolutely. They have the potential. They have Kyler Murray, who, regardless of all that, is a great quarterback. DeAndre Hopkins, who, when healthy, when not in trouble, one of the best, if not the best wide receiver in the league. Marquise Brown, who is yet to show it, but he definitely has the potential. Zach Ertz, who's a serviceable tight end. Still a pretty good defense with Budda Baker, Isaiah Simmons, all these guys, but you did lose Chandler Jones. So I like them. I like their potential. I just don't think I can put them any higher than 6.
Okay.
Number 5.
Here we go. These are the top 5 now.
The Philadelphia Eagles. I got the Eagles because, yes, Hurts hasn't really proved it yet, but I feel like they're gonna change it to like, yo, listen, you don't need to be the star. You don't need to be Dak Prescott. You don't need to be Patrick Mahomes. Just win is the game. Play this, make the smart pass. You have 2 receivers now and a tight end. Make the play that we need to be made. Let's win this game. And that defense can shut down the game. Like once they're in a good lead, that defense that just improved could easily be like, yo, I got you with the lead. We're gonna hold it down. So I think the Eagles win the NFC East. I know it's way too early, but I just think they do. I know Dak is Dak is better than Jalen Hurts right now, but Jalen Hurts having Devontae Smith, AJ Brown, Dallas Goedert, a stud defense. I just don't see him passing up that division title. And again, this is a prove year for him. He knows it. He knows he has to perform, or else that's it. I'm out. And last time I checked, they still have Gardner Minshew as a backup, who is a pretty damn good backup.
Yeah.
I don't know. I got the Eagles. I got the Eagles at 5. That's just the team that I think comes out of the NFC East. They probably, in my opinion, right now, would say get the 3 or the 4 seed. And it was hard for me to argue against the Eagles as much as it hurts. It was really hard for me to do it.
Okay. Well, my number 5.
Okay.
I have the Green Bay Packers at number 5.
Okay.
And I was iffy. I wanted to switch the Vikings and the Packers because, like I said, Vikings have a big opportunity of winning that division. But I had to go with the Packers just because Aaron Rodgers is still Aaron Rodgers. Okay. Yes, they lost Devontae Adams. Yes, that's a huge blow for anybody.
Yeah.
Okay. But Aaron Rodgers can make anybody look like he is a stud.
That's true.
Anybody. Right. They have 2 really good running backs and Aaron Jones, and you got AJ Dillon.
Stud. That's a monster.
Bro, these guys, I think they're going to become a little bit more running back heavy.
Of course.
But still, man, these guys, like I said, you cannot count out Aaron Rodgers. That's why I have them at number 5, because, again, you can never count out Aaron Rodgers. Sure. He will make any wide receiver look great. But I think their main focus is going to be Aaron Rodgers and those 2 running backs. Okay, you got Aaron Jones, who might be transitioning a little bit more into a pass catcher, because I feel like Dillon in between the tackles is phenomenal.
He's a stud, bro.
Oh, that guy is amazing. Okay, so again, and looking back at the division, you got the Lions, who again improved a lot, but let's be real, they're not going to win the division.
I would love for them to, but they probably won't.
You got the Bears, non-existent.
Dismiss
them. Doesn't matter. It's between them and the Vikings. All right, it is between them and the Vikings. I got them kind of, flopping constantly, but I'm going to give the edge to the Packers because just you got Aaron Rodgers, who just somehow always gets it done. All right, so that's my number 5. My number 4, the Arizona Cardinals. Okay. I think you got, again, Nuke Hopkins, who won't be playing in the beginning.
Right.
And you got Hollywood Brown. I think Hollywood Brown will be able to fill in that gap that Hopkins leaves there for the first 6 games. Why? Because his quarterback has improved. All right. I do think Kyler Murray is better than Lamar Jackson. Okay. Kyler Murray, again, even though Chandler Jones did leave, that's going to lead to games being more like shootout games. Okay, Cardinals are going to get scored on more, which means the Kyler Murray is going to have to go up the field and score more points. I feel like he loves doing that. When it's shootout games, somehow the Cardinals always come on top. Always. And I feel like that is the environment that they thrive in. So now you got Hollywood Brown, who I think will be great for them. And then you got Nuke Hopkins coming in after the 6th game. When they start heating up, forget it. And again, looking at that division, which is going to be a tough one, Seahawks, I see Cardinals beating the Seahawks both times.
Me too.
Okay. 49ers, in my opinion, I got the Cardinals better than the 49ers. Okay. Again, I got the 49ers 7th and I got the Cardinals at 4, just because I feel like they're a more complete team. Yeah, they lost Chandler Jones, but I feel like their offense is the ones that's going to make that big difference. Okay, they're just giving Kyler Murray another weapon. So that's why I think they're number 4.
Okay. Hey, listen, aim at it. I do think it's a little high, because again, to me, Marquise Brown still has to prove it, and not having Hollywood. I mean, not having DeAndre Hopkins, with Kyler Murray not going to practice right now, and this whole drama. I don't know. I just feel like they're not gonna gel right away.
I think all that talk, that's going on. I feel like once the season starts, it's just gonna be behind them, and Kyler Murray's gonna go out there and ball.
Let's see. It's only one way to find out. But for me, number 4 is the Packers.
Okay. I had them at 5.
Yeah. I still think, we got to put some respect on Aaron Rodgers' name. Like, I understand Devontae left. I understand they also lost MVS, who again isn't like a stud, but an important piece. At the end of the day, Aaron Rodgers, man. Listen, you put Aaron Rodgers on the Giants are automatically NFC East contenders.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
You know what I mean? Like, Aaron Rodgers, any team he goes to, they're going to contend for at least their division. So, you do have to put respect on his name. The one thing I'm concerned about with Aaron Rodgers is how much does he actually want to be there now? He just lost his best receiver. Him and the coach apparently don't really get along. Yes, he got his money, but
but wasn't he aware that Devontae was going to leave?
Supposedly he was, and then he came out and said that he wasn't. He came out and said that he signed his contract thinking Devontae was also going to sign the contract. And then apparently, things.
So maybe happened. Devontae played him.
I don't know how it went down, but regardless, I don't see him higher than 4 because I do think 3 teams are better than him. Than his team, than the Packers. I'm mentioning him like Rodgers is the Packers, although he kind of is. But I think 3 teams. I think 3 teams are better than the Packers, but I think the Packers are better than everybody else I just mentioned. But now we get into the top 3.
Yes.
All right, here we go. My number 3 is the 49ers.
Really?
I am a huge Trey Lance fan.
Okay.
I think the kid is NFL ready. I think the kid has potential. He has legs. He has the arm. He has the vision. He's probably going to be rough the first few games, right? He's still technically, when he comes in, he's technically still be a rookie.
Yeah.
But he has so many pieces. I think Debo ends up staying. Like, there's the drama going on with Debo, but I see it the way you see Kyler. At the end of the day, he's probably not going to be traded. He's going to play. He's going to be a stud. They're probably going to, because I know his issue is like he doesn't want to be the running back wide receiver thing that he was last season. And I understand that because I said the same thing. I don't think his body would last that long in the NFL if he continued doing that.
Right.
So I think him wanting to just be a straight up receiver, perfect.
Okay.
You still got George Kittle, who's coming back from finally no injuries, and he's going to be able to proceed through the offseason normally.
Yeah.
You got that running back room, which I know always gets hurt, but somehow, some way, they always find a stud. It was going to be Trey Sermon. It wasn't Trey Sermon. It was Elijah Mitchell. You know what I mean? They have a ridiculous defense, like a stupid nice defense. And you have, to me, one of the best coaches in the NFL. Kyle Shanahan, I think, does not get the respect he deserves. Like, he is a mastermind. He is a genius. He makes anything and everything work. So at the end of the day, no matter what, I know that Jimmy G was perfect for the system because he just managed the games. He helped them win the games. To me, that comes from Kyle Shanahan. So Kyle Shanahan will make Trey Lance that quarterback with a little bit more skill. To me, I just see the Niners being too skilled, too good, too well coached to be anything lower than 3 right now.
Very well. Very well. My number 3 team, the Dallas Cowboys.
I knew it.
Yep. My number 3 team is the Dallas Cowboys.
Okay.
Yes, Amari Cooper left. I get it. But I feel like that's actually going to make things a little bit better in the locker room because, again, Amari Cooper was demanding the ball a little bit too much. Like you said, they had to come out in a press conference and pretty much be like, hey, give me the ball. I want the ball, right? So I feel like Prescott, I think he's really, really good. He's going to have that pressure off of having to be like, all right, I have to throw to Amari. I have to throw. They just franchise tag Schultz. That tells me that he's going to be big for the Cowboys. All right. You got, in my opinion, we disagree on this. I think Gallup's going to step up big in Amari Cooper's absence. Okay. You got CeeDee Lamb, who's going to step in as the number 1, undisputed. Right. And I think Gallup's going to step in as that number 2. I think he's going to do a good job. Why? Because he's not really going to have all that pressure on him. All the pressure is going to be on CD, which I feel like he does great under pressure, and again, I haven't even mentioned the running backs. Okay. Right. You got Zeke, who hopefully if he's healthy, that offense is just going to improve a lot. But if he's not, Pollard has showed that he could step in whenever Zeke is not ready, whenever Zeke is not healthy. Okay. Pollard is going to be a key player for the Cowboys. Okay. Whether it's whether it has to do with injuries, whether it doesn't. I still think that little committee that they have going on continues. And so that's why I have them at number 3. Again, I have them winning the division above the Eagles. Obviously, Giants and the Commanders are non-existent. So again, I was back and forth with who would win that division, but I do think the Cowboys take that W, and I think they do go double-digit wins.
Hey, that's interesting. Double-digit wins. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, there's only 2 teams left. And I'm hoping we have them in the same order, but I feel like we don't.
Let's see. I have as my number 2, Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Same here.
All right. So I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as number 2. Why? Again, almost kind of going back to the same thing that I said about the Packers. Tom Brady is Tom Brady. He's coming back another season. Why? He's a little bitter with that loss with the Rams. So he's coming out with a little chip on his shoulder. That's one. And we know how he plays when he has a chip on his shoulder. Okay. And he was still playing at a very, very high level last season. All right. So now add that chip on his shoulder. All right. He was playing pretty much without Antonio Brown half the season. You bring in a Russell Gage who is going to fill in that slot. Well, not that slot, but that third wide receiver. I think Russell Gage is a great pickup for them. A fantastic pickup. You got Godwin on one side. You got Mike Evans on the other side. And then you got Gage, like we said with Aaron Rodgers. He's going to make whatever wide receiver he plays with, he's going to make him look good. He's going to make him look like a stud.
Yeah.
And Russell Gage, when he was in the Falcons, he showcased a little bit of flashes here and there that he's good, that he's a really good player. So I think Tom Brady goes out there and really showcases that he could be this great player that they need. And again, that's not even mentioning the guard that they picked up. Okay. They signed this guy and they didn't sign him. They traded for him. So I think he's also going to be a big piece for Tom Brady, in which Tom Brady can sit back. Well, not sit back, but he could kind of feel a little bit more relaxed and be like, okay, I can rely on this guy. So I have them at number 2 for those reasons. I think Tom Brady is as dangerous as ever. He has these 3 wide receivers. Again, Gronk hasn't even signed yet. All right. But they picked up a tight end as well. I'm sorry. They picked up 2 tight ends in the draft. Okay. Yeah. OJ Howard left, but they got Bray, which he's not bad. He's really not bad. So okay. I feel like Brady has all the pieces there to go out there and still contend as the best NFC team.
Okay. I mean, well, obviously we agree on the number 2. I also got the Bucks. I will say, yes, obviously Tom Brady coming back helps a lot. If not, they would have been much lower. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, one of the best duos in the NFL. Yep. Without Gronk, they still do lose a little bit of tight end, but I don't think it's fundamental to the point where it's like, well, they suck now. Russell Gage could be a great number 3. He's not going to be Antonio Brown, I'll tell you that.
No, but
he's going to be a good number 3. Their defense is still really, really good. Yes, they lost a few key pieces, but they'll be okay. Yeah. To me, one of the biggest dynamics in this why they're 2 and why they're not number 1. While Bruce Arians wasn't like the world's greatest coach, he did retire, and now Todd Bowles, who previously, yes, it was with the Jets, flopped as a coach, and he's been phenomenal for them as a coordinator. I am interested to see how they do. Like, yes, they have the team to like do well,
right?
But at the end of the day, a coach plays a big role. So I want to see how they do. I do think they have the squad to right now be number 2, eventually maybe number 1. But I could also see the chance of them dropping to like 5, 6, 7, you know. But at the end of the day, this roster's too good, and they do have Tom Brady, who is, I'm not even gonna say it, but you know what he is. Yeah, I don't. It's hard to argue with them at number 2.
Yeah.
The only team that I think is better than them is the Rams. I think
honestly, we could. I have the Rams as number 1 as well, so we could honestly both talk about this at the same time.
Listen, I got the Rams for not only because they won the Super Bowl. I see them as whether they get OBJ back or not.
Yeah,
they got Allen Robinson, so they're not losing anything there. Yes, they traded away Robert Woods, but they're probably gonna either re-sign OBJ or they got.
I don't see why not. OBJ has to sign.
Or they got that kid Van Jefferson who showed flashes.
Van Jefferson is nice too. Yep.
So there's that.
And that's on the offense. That's on the offense,
right?
You go to the defense.
You lose Von Miller, but you pick up Bobby Wagner.
Honestly, I think that might be a better.
Don't get me wrong. It's two different positions. Like Von Miller helped them a lot, especially in the Super Bowl in the last quarter off the edge.
Right.
They need to replace that. But you got a leader back there who,
even
if Aaron Donald can't get to the quarterback because he's double teamed, triple teamed, you got somebody back there that's going to hold it down. You know what I mean? You also got Jalen Ramsey. Like, this team is ridiculously stacked. They lost a couple players, but I feel like for what they lost and what they got back, they're still in the same good spot. Like, I just, simply enough, like, to wrap it up for me, the Rams are as good, if not better, than they were last year. And I'm not saying they're going to win the Super Bowl again, but as of right now, I just have them as number one. No questions asked. Not to mention Sean McVay. So
yeah, there's really nothing else to add on to that. You know, you got, again, you hit everything, you mentioned everything, and that's not even talking about the running backs. They have Akers in the backfield.
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, Sony Michel left, but I feel like it's not really going to make a big impact because regardless, the Rams are a throwing team anyway.
Right, yeah.
Okay, and like you said, you have all those wide receivers, the tight end, which Higbee is amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think it's a obvious choice. Rams are my number one team, number one NFC team for sure.
Hey, listen, we started off the same way, we finished the same way.
Yeah.
Listen, our who was your 15? Panthers as well, right?
50, yeah, Panthers as well.
Our bottom two and our top two, the exact same.
Yep.
In between, there were a couple of mix-ups, a couple of changes, but hey, that's the beauty of it, man. Different opinions, and that's what I love about the NFL. That's what I love about sports, period, man. We can have our own opinions, back them up, and at the end of the day, we could both look either like geniuses or we could both look silly because then the season happens and we're way off. So
yeah,
only time will tell. Again, guys, this is way too early. NFL, well, not NFL, sorry, NFC rankings. Next football episode, we'll have the AFC, and then maybe as we get closer to full NFL, we might challenge ourselves.
Yeah.
You know? But now that we finished with the rankings, right? I want to transition us into the EOE, right? The EOE, as you guys know, it's a section where we're going to talk about anything and everything. Most of the time, we will keep it related to what the content of the episode had. But there's times where we can mix it up, you know. And today, I think it's only right we start with similar content. So
yeah.
As we mentioned last time, very briefly, we will be doing fantasy football, especially as it gets closer, right? We're already in May. We're almost in June. You know what I mean? NFL draft season is usually late August, middle August. That's 2.5 months away. If we're talking about today, May 24th, probably 3 months for most leagues. Like,
bro, I'm getting that itch. I'm getting that itch.
We're there, man. We're there. And for those of you that don't know, about 6-7 years ago, I want to say, Jay here kept telling me, "Oh, you gotta play fantasy, and I was like, no, I don't want to. I tried it once. I was like, fine, whatever. Just kind of like a shut up, I'll do it. I did it, and I literally drafted whatever players were there that I liked. Like, if OBJ was there like at 2, I'm like, yeah, I'm taking OBJ because he was my favorite receiver at the time, right? Like, my team was terrible because it was just names that I liked. And I was like, you see, I don't like this. I suck. And he's like, yo, give it a real try. Get your research done. Do your thing. And I was like, fine, whatever. I'll give it a real shot. Let me tell you, after I gave it a real shot about, 3 years ago, addicted. Not to sound too cocky, I've actually became really, really good.
Yeah, you did.
Listen, I won a championship in my first season in my in-person league. I'm just saying, you know.
And not just that, we also have a family league going on with like all the cousins.
Tell them.
Which was the first season ever. You know, I wanted to start this league, and so we did it. And me and him ended up facing each other in the finals, and he beat me. So
yes, I did.
Good. Hey, man, still a little bittersweet.
It's okay. You got next season to come back, but I'm doing my best to keep that title. I don't care.
Of course. No, but yeah, fantasy football. I'm glad I was able to get you onto it. We're also co-managing a league, a team in one of your co-workers or one of your boys' league, which that was a new experience. I've never co-managed a team before, but hey,
me either.
I wouldn't want it any other way.
Hey, and not only that, we killed it, bro.
Bro, I don't. Yes, we did.
We,
but
we
I don't
got
wanna
we got
talk
unlucky.
about
We
it.
got unlucky at the semis. That was the game. Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow went crazy against the Chiefs, and we got smacked around. But
Yeah,
our team was ridiculously stacked. We ended up with 1L. We ended like 15
13-1.
13-1, sorry.
Was
15
it
if we count
15?
the playoffs, I think.
15 if we count the playoffs.
Point is, we got 1L up until that semifinal game. We had a ridiculous stack team, and honestly, for it being the first time we ever do it, and we drafted, keep in mind it was a 16-man team league, sorry, and we drafted 14.
Yeah.
Okay, 14th, and we ended up with the best team, and we only made like 2 trades the whole season.
Yep.
There were trades that really bust us up. We got JT at the perfect time before he was doing good. It was a fun season. It was a fun season. We just unfortunately couldn't get the chip, but there's always next year. There's always next year.
Vengeance.
But yeah, fantasy man around the corner. Once we get closer, guys, you guys will get a lot, and I mean a lot of fantasy football.
100%. We're gonna be talking about fantasy football. 100%.
I can't wait.
We are huge fantasy football fans, and we love it. We love it. And for those of you guys that are mainly here for fantasy football, be patient.
Stay tuned.
We'll get your content.
It's coming. It's coming.
Get your content.
It's coming. But that's just a little something we wanted to mention, just to refresh. But there was something that went down this week, and we're gonna kind of switch it up now, right? We're gonna move on from football just real quick. There's something that happened this weekend, right? Again, for some of you that may not know, I am not the biggest UFC fan. Like I will watch it if it's on, and like whatever people are watching, I'll watch it. I have no problem with it. But to the point where I'm like, I'm following fights and like I'm there but Jay over here, he's a huge UFC fan, and there's something that went down this weekend that he wanted to talk about. So Jay,
look,
take it away, my boy.
Look, I'm a huge UFC fan, like you said, and we want to keep it this EOE section kind of as a section where we could talk about anything, So again, this is a perfect timing because I'm about to speak about the UFC. So there's just one fight that I want to speak about, and just it's mainly my reaction to it, which is the Holly Holm versus Vieira fight. Okay, this was the main event for fight night that just happened on Saturday. Holly Holm, she is ranked number 2, the number 2 bantamweight, and Vieira was ranked number 5. Now, in my opinion, Holly Holm was dominating this fight. She lost the second round, but you have a kickboxing champion in Holly Holm going up against a black belt jiu-jitsu and judo expert in Vieira. And let me tell you, this fight was amazing. And when I tell you amazing, I mean they were going back and forth when they were standing. But again, within the first 2 rounds, they were going back and forth. But then from the third round on, the third, the fourth, and the fifth, it was a clear showing of who was winning those 3 rounds. For sure. Holly Holm, 100%. What I saw was the fight going the distance, right? So now you got to bring in the judges. The judges scored this fight, number 1, a split decision. That means one judge saw it in favor of Holly Holm, the other judge saw it in favor of Vieira, and that just leaves the last one. So the last judge scored it in favor of Vieira. Okay, there is no way that judge had to be blind, because there is no way that she won that fight. Holly Holm got robbed. If Holly Holm would have, because again, this was a top 5. They were both ranked within the top 5. Okay, so if Holly Holm would have won this fight, this could have possibly been a title contender afterwards. Okay, so right. she would have beat the 5th ranked, which was Vieira. Her next fight could have easily been for the title. And same thing could have been said for Vieira. It's like, hey, look, I just beat the number 2. Now I want to fight either the number 1 or go for the championship. Yep. Now, Vieira won, which was complete bull, but she would have won it convincingly. It's like, okay, you still get to call the shots and say that you want to fight one or the champ. Yeah. But there's no way she's gonna get that shot. At least in my opinion, I don't think she deserves it. Holly Holm won that fight. Holly Holm should at least maybe get a rematch because again, those judges completely ruined those results, and Holly Holm should have definitely won that fight. And I think if they fight again, Holly Holm knocks her out. There's no way she was this close of knocking her out, this close. And mind you, Vieira is in her late 20s. Holly Holm is 40 years old.
That's wild.
40, and she was dominating her. So the judges definitely got it wrong
Experience
on this fight. Yeah, man. Experience. But yeah, man, that's all I got for UFC. I was pissed. Like, I felt like I had to get it off my chest. I had to talk about it. So
listen, if we have any viewers out there that feel the same way about the fight or just UFC in general, by all means, go ahead, let us know, comment. Jay will be the guy to talk to.
yeah,
I could chip in here and there, but Jay's the guy. So hey man, if anybody else saw that fight and feel the same way as Jay, or maybe feel like Vera deserved to win, hey, bring it up. We could always talk about it. It's something we're open to. So I'm glad you got that off your chest. It sounds like something you were very passionate about. Yeah, I could tell.
Oh man,
I could
feels
tell.
good. It feels good. But you know what? Now that I've reacted to that, I say we keep it a little bit along. And even though last week was a soccer episode, I feel like we could spend maybe these ending moments on the reaction of what happened. Because this past weekend again, it was the Barclays Premier League final game. It was down to the wire between Manchester City's game and Liverpool's game. And so obviously, for those that don't know, Manchester City became the champions. They were down 2-0, turned the game around in 6 minutes, scoring 3 goals. And so me being a Liverpool fan broke my heart because Liverpool was down early in the game. They tied the game. And then they ended up scoring a second one that I was like, oh my God, that's it. We got it. We're going to be champions. But Manchester City came in and they had a different story.
Yeah, man. Listen, the first thing I thought about, honestly, when Liverpool went 1-0 down, I was like, well, let's see if Jay's right. Because I remember, if I'm not mistaken, last week, you said that whenever Mo Salah doesn't play, Mane steps up.
Yep.
And well, guess what? Salah was not playing that game because, they're trying to save him for Champions League.
Right.
So I was like, all right, it's very early. I think it was like the 3rd minute, 4th minute that Liverpool went down. So I was like,
minute 2.
Minute 2. There you go, even worse. So I was like, all right, Mane got some time. Let me see what Jay's on about. Mane tied it up. Granted, it was a phenomenal, and I mean a phenomenal Thiago assist. Like when I saw that, I got chills. That was such a beautiful assist. Like Thiago has eyes in the back of his head, but that's besides the point. And then Mane scores, and I was like, 1, Jay's right. 2, wow, we got a game. We got a title race. Because at that point, City was still 0-0, right?
Yeah.
Villa scores. I'm like, okay, this was unexpected. So Villa's winning. Liverpool's tied. Right now, they're both tied on points, but City's champ because of goal difference, right? I'm like, cool, no worries. Second half starts, whatever. Villa, a beautiful Coutinho goal as well. That touch he took out of the air and then cut it in first post. Ederson was like, oh, beautiful goal. And I was like, there's no shot. Not only does Liverpool's ex-legend, who is now Aston Villa's manager, Steven Gerrard, and their ex-star in Philippe Coutinho, are they gonna give them the title? It seems so, because it seemed like Liverpool was gonna score, which eventually they did. They ended up winning the game 3-1. So, in any other regular circumstance, they're champs. But Pep pulled an Ancelotti, and he had this magic touch. Took out Bernardo Silva, took out Mahrez, brought in Sterling, brought in Gundogan. And at halftime, he took out Fernandinho and brought in Zinchenko. All 3 of those players are the reason why they scored 3 goals. The first goal, Sterling goes, crosses it in, Gundogan, header. I'm like, okay, 2-1. Can they do it? I don't know. Literally a minute and a half later, Rodri passes the ball into the net after a beautiful Zinchenko play, right? Gets past a few players, gives it in, beautiful pass into the goal. And I was like, 2-2, there's no shot, right? Like, all Liverpool needs still a goal. Like, Liverpool can do this. That's not how it went out. Gundogan scores again. I was like, what? 3-2, game ends. Like you said, in 6 minutes, Man City scored 3 times. 3 times. That's ridiculous. This is by far one of the best weekends one of the best Sundays I've seen in a while as well. Yeah. Like, I remember I had a break from work, so I was home watching it. I am so happy I had a break from work, because let me tell you, I would have been pissed if I would have missed that. It was a back. I was literally like this with my controller, back and forth.
Yeah, same.
So I think it was a phenomenal weekend. I am glad I got to see it. It shows you why the Premier League is the most competitive league in the world. And congrats to Man City. I obviously have no, like, not to sound rude, but I don't care who would have won. Yeah. I'm not a City fan. I'm not a Liverpool fan. So congrats to City. For you, I'm very sorry. You guys were very close. Aston Villa just
so
couldn't get the
close.
job done. But
So close.
it was a phenomenal weekend. And one thing I want to shout out real quick. The other league that was meant to be decided that day, the Serie A, the Italian league, Milan wins their first championship in 11 years, man.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's crazy. A long time back, I was like, yeah, they're gonna end up choking. Inter will take it. They didn't choke at all. They went crazy and they won, and now they're champs. Kessier, one of the champs, who's coming to Barca in the summer. Thank God. Ibra won the championship. Did you see the way he walked out with a cigar?
Yeah, with a cigar.
Oh, he looks like a boss as always.
He's a legend.
So congrats to Milan. Congrats to City. Liverpool. I don't know how this changed their mindset for the final that's coming up on Saturday. I'm excited to see that. So hopefully it doesn't change it up. Hopefully our predictions stay the same. Hopefully Liverpool wins. But talking about predictions, we both got our prediction. I want to say right, but I want to say wrong for the Europa League because we both said Frankfurt would win.
Yeah,
but we did say that if it went to penalties, we got Rangers.
Yep,
it did not go that way. It did go to penalties. I got the score right, 1-1, right in regular time. We both clearly got the extra time score wrong because
I said Rangers would score first.
You did say Rangers would score first. I didn't. So we got that right. We each got one thing right, but we both got the final score before penalties wrong because it ended 1-1.
Yeah.
Then we go to penalties, and you got one thing wrong. You said Rangers would win in penalties. I got two things wrong. I said Rangers would win in penalties, and I also said why? Because Santos Borré would be one of the people that misses for Frankfurt. Instead, what does he do? He hits the top bins to give them the title. I was like, oh, come on. You got to be kidding me. So, guys, if you saw that, you guys will know Santos Borré made me look silly. And, hey, props to him. Congrats to Frankfurt again. Europa League champions. Well-deserved. Very well-deserved, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But now let's talk about, just to remind the people real quick, what was your prediction for the Conference League that's going on tomorrow?
Yeah, so the final, like you mentioned, is Roma versus Feyenoord.
Mm-hmm.
My prediction for that final is the game finishing 1-1 in regular time, the game going to extra time, and Roma winning 2-1 in extra time. Okay. That's my prediction. I think Roma will become champion.
Interesting. I also think Roma wins the championship, the title, but I don't think they go to extra time. I think Roma wins in regular time. So I'm glad we both think Roma wins. But now, so this video will probably be out after the final, but it'll be out before the Champions League final. So,
yes. Do
we want to give them a quick little reminder of the Champions League final so they can have both in one? Let's go.
Yes, the Champions League final is Liverpool versus Real Madrid.
Mm-hmm.
My prediction was the game finishes 2-2 in regular time. They go to overtime. Nothing happens in overtime. They go to penalties. I think in penalties, Liverpool will come out victorious, lifting up the UEFA Champions League title. And I think the penalties finish 4-3. Obviously, Liverpool winning it.
Okay. I mean, I got the same score. I think it ends 2-2 in regular time, but I think Liverpool find it 3-2 in extra time, and I think they win the Champions League as well. But all right, so those are our predictions. We already talked about what we got right and wrong for the Europa League. Hey, listen, by the time this comes out, you will know what we got right or wrong for the Conference League, and by next week, we will know how we did for the Champions League. So,
yes, sir.
I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and please, again, any comments, any concerns, any questions, suggestions, DMs are open, comments are open, email is open. Without further ado, I will sign off by saying thank you for watching, and please don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow.
Yep. Hey, you said it all, man. See you guys next week.
See you guys. Peace.